Can it be tricky to figure out what kind of team New York is, knowing that they've struggled at home, but when they get away from home, they've been really good? Is it hard to kind of gauge what kind of team they are?
Well, I'm going to assume they're going to be really good because that's what their road record indicates, right? And we're playing them here, so we got to expect their best. I don't know. It's an odd discrepancy. I was looking at it the other day. I think LA's going through a bit of that right now, where their road record is significantly better than their home record, and they're a team last year I think might have set a franchise record for home wins. So it's sometimes small sample size maybe right now, but I'm looking at the team that's dominating on the road. So good goaltending every night. So you gotta stick with your offensive principles and second chances, third chances when the goaltenders are making the first save. I think we're defending pretty well for the most part. We've got to continue to keep building on that. Their top guys are going a little better now than maybe they were at the start. For some reason, they produce better on the road. Again, I don't have a great answer for that, but we're preparing for that team. Special teams, I think, have turned the corner a little for them. Power plays getting some timely goals. So that's it. At the end of the day, then it becomes us. What do we do well in St. Louis? The Islanders, Minnesota, even though we won one of those 3 games, we're taking positives from those games, and let's apply them tonight and keep patching up a little bit of where we got to make the next play or the extra play in these 1-goal games. There's critical moments in the game where you got to be good and rise up, and those are things we're going to keep harping on.
The shots, less than 30 shots a night, is something that you guys have been able to do every game so far this season. I know in the past you haven't really been crazy about shot total. It was where they were coming from more than how many, but is that still a good number to have?
Well, we'll say this. I feel like this year the shot clock is a lot more detailed in terms of what's on net and what isn't. I've noticed that around the league, right? Because even our shots for are probably down as well. I think that's a trend in the league. They're tightening up what has to be on the net, so that probably contributes a bit of that. But I think we've always been pretty good at that. We've always wanted to sacrifice outside shots volume for taking care of quality inside, so it'll always be that way. This year we seem to be being able to do both. Probably a lot to do with our willingness to block shots. That's one thing, and I think over time, Gary, in our system, the more guys play it, they know when to close now without hesitation. So that's probably helped us to kill a few more plays that end up not resulting in sustained pressure. We don't have as much this year. Sustained pressure shifts. We're doing a good job with that. Maybe that's retrievals. Maybe it's, like I said, just being more comfortable. Whatever reason, we're doing a better job. Maybe the goalies are controlling rebounds better. I mean, there's a lot that probably goes into it. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good number for us, and take some pride in that. I don't know if was that your original or, whatever you got to do to keep it out of the net. But you're right. The shot total to me is not as important, but it still reflects something in your game, right? That you're not spending that much time in your end.
Well, just to follow, I guess, because you did mention the inner slot stuff. Has that number dropped as well according to the stuff that you're giving?
No, the stuff we're given, we're good. We're good there. And the number that's improved this year for us is we're recovering more pucks in our slot area for whatever reason. And I probably just named a couple of them, right? I think we're more comfortable and reacting quicker, and so that's a good thing, because those are where the second chance goals come in, right? Goalie's not set, D are still sorting out, so the more of those pucks you get, and they lead to transition. If the other team's stuck, you can get going out of your end. That's an area of the game we're trying to build on, is our transition game, our rush games. When teams are working to have numbers back, it's hard, like Minnesota, right? They're keeping people above. But when they're playing in their O-zone, they're trying to score. If we can transition quicker now before they get above, that's an area that you can get your rush chances. So that's something we're trying to do a little bit better. Get out of our end through the middle of the ice a little better, so you can push D back. That might open up ice, especially when you have centermen like Eichel, Hurdle, that can carry the puck through the middle. So that might open up our rush game as well. So those are areas of focus for us, and we're working on it.
Last year, Ben Hutton only played 11 games. This year, kind of been in and out of the lineup, mostly as your 7th D, right? But What has he shown you? Is there anything he's shown you lately, whether it's attitude, being out of the lineup, going back in, or consistency when he is in?
He's always had a good attitude, and we appreciate that. If the guys are skating extra, he's always the leader, especially when you have young guys. It was Schwinn a little bit, it's Holtz, some of the Reinhardt for a bit. So he's a real pro in that area. It's not a fun job when you're doing that, trust me. You'd rather be on the ice. We try to make it as honest as we can. We have 6 guys ahead of him, and until that changes, will be your role, and it could change. So that's where Ben's at, and he brings a level of physicality. He can move the puck. I think he sees the ice well. For him, it's getting, staying within himself in the game. Sticking to our structure. Not maybe chasing up or outside the dots. And sometimes when you don't play, you lose a bit of that. You want to impact the game, so that's the one area we talked to Ben about. And those are sometimes pinches in the neutral zone, running up at the right time to kill a play versus, hey, let the play come to you, let the forward track. So, and like I said, he's done a good job for us. There's no complaints there. Hopefully he keeps doing it. Now he's going to get an opportunity tonight. Lowe's on. I don't know how long he'll be out, but he's not in tonight. So go in and push the guys that are in the lineup. And if you want to be in the lineup every night, I guess as simple as that you got to outplay one of the other 6 guys on a consistent basis. That's kind of how it works. So that's what's in front of them, and you can't do that all in one game, right? It's kind of that consistent every night kind of. Yep, I can rely on this guy, and so that's the challenge for Ben. He's been through it for a while now, so I think he understands it.
Beginning of the season and before the season, you said you were real focused on getting chances in front of the other goal, scoring playoff type goals, not necessarily any individual game, but overall. Do you feel like you're progressing there? Has it been good enough?
I think we've progressed the last, say, from the first half of the year. Minnesota, no, not the other night. We didn't get any 5-on-5. It was tough sledding for both teams. When you look at any analytics from any company, that it was a low event game. But overall, yes, I looked at the Islander game. I think we got all 3 from the front of the net. We looked back. Detroit, we got a number of chances. The game ends up being Barbashev scoring there, and they don't. So I think it's progressing, yes. We're trying to create a little more motion in the O-zone for a certain amount of skill guys. The Marner, Smith, Pav, get them moving around, but eventually converging to the net. Get them away from their net, now we beat them back there. So there's a little bit of that mentality. Some of that's the D getting pucks to the net, arriving on time. So that's the challenge for them, shooting for offense sometimes versus shooting to score. So yes, I do feel we're going in the right direction. We have time to keep building on it, so we don't expect everything to happen overnight, but that's the mindset we're trying to build in.
Bruce, you mentioned that your losses, all of them seem like the game's been there for the taking, all by a goal late. Is that where potentially you miss, some of the guys have been out long term, your number 1 goalie, Stone, Carlson, do you feel their impact the most in games that are there for the taking?
Well, Stoney, what's he got for points? I mean, he was when he left, 1.5 points a game, whatever it is. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's, so you miss that. Carly always scores timely goals. Very seldom do you get a cheap one, right? It's usually an important one. If you look at game winners or go-ahead goals, he's that guy that can rise up in those critical moments. So yes, we absolutely miss him. Then on the other hand, you're putting young goalies in every night that are learning on the fly here. So there's a little bit of that. So that's part of it. We understand that. That's okay. Just make sure you keep taking steps, right? So you miss the veteran guys and the young guys you have in there. Well, again, it's just going to be a little bit of a work in progress right now. They're working their asses off every day to get better and try to keep us in game, stop pucks. So credit to them, but they're still fairly new to the league. So, and that's both sides, right? That's the save you need so you can score the goal, and the goal you need to convert to make the difference, right? So we're a little bit of both there.
Well, we haven't chatted for a while, so just wanted to get your thoughts kind of on how things are going. Do you feel like you guys took some pretty positive steps in the right direction this road trip?
Yeah, I think our play was really good in St. Louis. Obviously, we couldn't come away with it in Minnesota, but I think we're starting to generate way more chances 5-on-5. We're playing in the O-zone much more. We're not giving up a lot of high-danger chances, which is the most positive thing. Like I said, many guys have said we've been a tough team to play against defensively. So for us, we know our game's on and we don't give up those high-danger chances. And so, if teams want to come to the middle, they're going to have to pay a price.
Yeah, I think this team's looked really good defensively for most of the season. Maybe a couple 1 or 2 off games, but offense was kind of the issue, especially 5-on-5. It seems like that's clicking now. When things are going well, what does that look like?
Honestly, I think it looks like what we saw in St. Louis, right? Like we were playing an ozone sustainable game where it was just line after line was just feeding off one another. We were getting it in. We were working, to every line's strength and abilities, and it showed. Like we dictated a lot of that game. We didn't give them much life. Would have loved to, for Schmido to come away with that shutout, but we were one shot away from getting that for him. But that's what it looks like for us. Is just every line is just sustaining ozone pressure over and over again, and it bottlenecks teams, and it takes away life from them.
Yeah, I think your line has also been really important, like in past seasons, especially right, the energy line, the identity line, whatever you want to call it. This year, especially lately, you've had 2 new guys, and how do you find chemistry, or where do you think that is in terms of how you've clicked to this point?
It's still coming along. Like I've said, like I've played with the same guy my whole time being here, right? So I knew what he would do maybe sometimes before he even did, and vice versa. So for now, it's just trying to build a strong foundation of what our game looks like, and then we read off it, we talk about it, we communicate way more, and I think a lot of our best chances have come just from either using our speed to our advantage and just taking it wide, or we just put a puck in and we go in as a 5-man unit and we try and work it and get it back, and then from there our skill will take over in the offensive zone.
It looked like Reinhardt had a couple of chances last game too. I mean, just as a young guy, he's still trying to find his way, obviously. What have you noticed about his game?
His speed is the tough one, just like you said. He had a lot of chances, but that came with him using his legs to beat D-men wide, and he's getting into holes, and guys on our team are very good at finding each other. So it's just when we have that, we know where he's going to be, then we can just try and get the puck into his zone, and even sometimes, if it's from the D zone, put a high foot puck or put him in a foot race. Like we have fast guys in this team that'll beat D-men.
I guess just kind of checking in on where you're at, how you're feeling now that you're getting, it's been a little inconsistent, but how do you stay fresh when you're not always in the lineup?
Yeah, obviously try and pride myself on being a positive guy, working hard in practice so that when your number does get called, you're ready for the game. And at the same time, just trying to stay positive, trying to stay confident, so when you are out there, you're still confident to make plays and move the puck well.
So what does that look like? Like, how does your prep change, whether it's taking care of your body or otherwise, when you're in regularly?
Not really much. I mean, I'm still been taking the warm-ups and stuff like that, so it's pretty much the same routine, have your meals, get ready, do your stretch, do your regular warm-up routine, and then hit the ice ready to go. So, being in the warm-ups every single game, it gives you the way to keep your routine, and so that when your number does get called, you're ready to go.
Tonight will actually make it so that you're playing more games this year than you did all of last year. Does that have any significance to you? Does it make you feel good?
Obviously, it's nice being on the lineup. Obviously, last year was a tough year. I didn't play too many games, so being in the lineup a little bit more is definitely a feel good.
Given the changes on the blue line that we've seen for the team this year, obviously no Petro, Hannafin was out for a large chunk, Malazan's out. How have you guys been able to stay really consistent? Because I feel like defensively overall, this team's continued to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we think that any defenseman can play any single night, but at the same time, it's not just defensemen out there. We're checking as 5. Our forwards do a good job of back checking and making sure that forwards can hold, or D can hold gaps. And when a mistake does happen, we got our goalies bailing us out. So we're a unit out there. So we think anyone can play at any given night.
You've been with Kolesar for the most part lately. What does he bring, and kind of also a guy that's looking now to stay in the lineup every single night for the first time really in his career?
Yeah, obviously a young player. Of course, he can move his feet. He can skate real well. He can jump up on the rush when the opportunity is right. So if we just use our legs, work together to break the puck out, we're pretty good then.